Hey everybody, welcome back to 13 Rings and NFC East podcast. I'm Lucas with Mal, Maurice, and Earl. We just got done doing all of our mock drafts for the upcoming NFL draft in less than 2 weeks. It's crazy that it's almost here, guys. It's like 8 days away. But before we get into that, we're going to review free agency because, of course, before we draft players, we got to see what our team needs are after free agency. But more importantly, we're going to be looking at how the teams stack up after free agency. But before we get into any of that, I want to welcome Becca, winner of our fan raffle and Giants fan enthusiast, Eli Manning fan, Becca. Becca, welcome on to the pod for the first time.
Yay! Thank you.
Welcome.
Becca.
So, Mal, you and Becca are friends. So I'm going to leave this part to you.
Okay. All right, so let's get to know Becca a little bit. So, Becca, tell us about your football background and what got you into being a New York Giants fan.
Okay, so I'm from the Midwest, but when the Colts drafted Peyton Manning, I did not like him for some reason. I think it might have been his big forehead. And so my dad told me he had a little brother.
Big forehead?
He's got a huge forehead, dude.
You're not wrong.
My dad told me that he had a little brother, so I looked him up, and we actually have the same birthday. So that was Eli Manning. I followed him through college, and when he got sent to the Giants, I decided the Giants were my team.
That's a super cool birthday twin. My birthday twin is Kim Kardashian. It's not as climax.
No, not really.
My birthday happened the same day as Bill Clinton's election day, so I don't really have much to brag about there.
You don't have a birthday?
No, not really.
Your
Ouch.
doesn't exist, Lucas.
It's just, there's a phrase that I cannot say on this podcast that is associated with Bill Clinton that I always stuck in my head whenever I think about my birthday.
You know who it is.
I can't. All right. Anyway, so that's a really, really cool way to get into the team, Becca. Now, what's your favorite Giants memory that you can remember?
Going to the game last year. My husband surprised me with tickets to the Giants Commanders game at home, and we were in like section 123 or something, super close up. We won like usual, and the only downside was Daniel Jones was hurt, but I did have a great time, and the Commanders lost like they're supposed to. Death taxes.
Okay, you're.
It was the letter of the day.
I'm not appreciating
the letter of the day.
I'll see why I love her so much.
It's the letter.
She's on the same page as me. I love that. But I just want to say that I had serious FOMO because I was supposed to go to that game, and then I couldn't. And then Becca was there, and everyone was looking like they were having like such a good time, and the game was so good. So all I had to say is I had FOMO. But
yeah, I'm still mad at you.
You're so mad at me? I know I'm mad at me too. But so I think I know the answer to this question. But who's your favorite Giants player of all time?
Ooh. I mean, it's probably got to be Eli, because he's the reason I got into the Giants. But current player is hard because Daniel Jones is a current player, but there's that whole controversy if he's going to play or not. So current player that I know will be playing this year would be Bobby Okereke.
I love Bobby Okereke. What a great signing we had last year with him. And now I want to ask a question that has been controversial on Twitter, controversial on social media. We've all been fighting about it for like probably months now. Who would you like to see drafted at number 6, Becca?
Not JJ McCarthy, I can tell you that much.
Yes.
I'm glad that we're all on the same page here for that for you guys.
It might happen.
It might happen.
If we do, I want every person that whined about Daniel Jones getting drafted at 6 to just like never talk again, because he's not much. I wouldn't even say he's better than Daniel Jones. I'm hoping we go wide receiver.
But what if Drake May drops to 6?
I would take Drake May. I think he's a good project quarterback. I think you should put him not as a starting quarterback, or he's going to look like Bryce Young out there.
Would you guys? Would you get? What would you be? Would you be mad if they traded up for him?
I think it would depend what all they gave up for him. I don't know. That's a really good question. And I'm just kind of tired of all the we have to draft a quarterback or we're gonna be the worst team ever talk that I'm just like, let's go anything but quarterback and make everybody mad.
Yeah,
That's my feeling.
Drew Lock isn't a bad. He wouldn't be a bad starter, at least for one season.
no,
No.
I don't know about that, Maurice. I don't know.
Daniel
kinda-
Jones was pictured running with the team 5 months post injury. I think he could easily start the season. He's got a little bit of a beefed up O line, not a very good one, but it's better than it was last year. And if we just kick Evan Neal to guard, I think I could block better than him.
Fighting words.
I honestly forgot about Evan Neal until I saw a photo of him the other day, and I was like, I totally forgot this guy's on my team.
So I saw an interesting tweet about Evan Neal too. So the same draft that you guys traded back with the Bears so that they could draft Justin Fields, you guys drafted Evan Neal. It was also the same draft that the Cowboys got Micah Parsons, and the Eagles. Who did the Eagles get with that pick, Maurice? I can't remember.
Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith. Yeah.
Devontae Smith.
The
Yes.
Giants was supposed to get him, but the Eagles jumped him.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a big rumor for a while that the Giants were looking at Devontae.
Well, yeah, because Dan Edelman opened his mouth. Like, dude, just stop talking.
I wish my owners could just stop talking, but one can hope.
Well, you guys still, even though that Dan Snyder is gone, I don't think you guys still have the most toxic owner. I think that goes to Carolina now.
Yeah,
No, we got the most toxic.
Oh no, Carolina's pretty bad, man.
When you call your organization by the first name of the owner, Jerry World, yeah, that's toxic.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you,
gonna have to
Maurice.
agree with that.
Thank you. I'm gonna give you a virtual high five for that. Thank you.
But yeah, so all right, so Becca, you want to go wide receiver at 6, but you wouldn't be mad about Drake May. So now, are there any other Giants thoughts that you want to share? Anything that you want to get off your chest? Anything you want to talk about? Anything that you just think Giants and you want to say?
Oh no, I don't know. You put me on the spot. I've told plenty of people this. The guy we picked up in free agency, Jermaine, say his last name for me again.
Illuminor.
I'm so excited about him. He there's not been a ton said about him, but he interacts with fans on Twitter. He just seems like a happy guy. I'm so glad we have him, and I just really hope he kicks Evan Neal to guard. I really do.
Becca, how do you feel about Saquon going to the Eagles?
Who's that? I've never heard of that man.
Yep.
The
I guess
only
she done
26
moved
I
on.
know is Devin Singletary, actually.
I'm
Fair
done.
enough.
Yeah, listen.
Never
that's
heard of
gonna
Saquon
be
Barkley.
a rough homecoming for him. I will say that.
I'm just surprised
Yeah.
you guys let Xavier McKinney walk.
I
I'm
don't
not.
think we were gonna pay him that much money. He got
No.
his bag. I support that one.
See, and he's once a Giant, always a Giant. Saquon Barkley is a nobody now. Nobody cares.
Traitor.
I would much rather watch him go to the Commanders or the Cowboys
Football
at
Warriors.
this point.
He can stay
The
away.
Cowboys, I'd have the same feeling.
I'm still
Yeah, I
surprised the Cowboys didn't hire. Didn't sign. What's his name? King Henry. That was surprising.
Henry's a Raven where he's supposed to be.
Is it?
Lucas, I'm gonna keep it a bean with you real quick. Stephen Jones does not like free agents.
No, he does not.
He doesn't. He considers them stepchildren, and it's bad. He won't even recognize the free agents that they do have on the team.
Yeah, Stephen Jones is allergic to free agency.
Yeah, that's fair.
He has a sheer despise of it.
Yeah.
He likes his own players.
I also want to say the Brian Burns pickup was amazing. And I think and I can't wait to see him, Kayvon. Dexter and Okereke, they're going to be a scary defense. Now, if only we can get the offense on the same page, we could beat more than just the Commanders in the division.
Hey now. Hey, things are changing.
No,
You're an all-star.
The Brian Burns trade, we really needed that spark on the line, especially with Aziz's health problems and him not being able to be reliable. So, and honestly, we talk about it all the time, guys, that building through the trenches is the most important, and Brian Burns is a good addition there. So I loved it too. I definitely did. But Becca, thank you so much. Please, as we continue on throughout the show here, just chime in whenever you want. We are all about
all
the
right.
And so now we're going to go into our post.
Hang on, Mal. Before we get into that, I do want to make an announcement here on the pod. So not only has Becca come on just for this pod, she is actually going to be a member of the 13 Rings team moving forward as our official content creator in terms of memes and just social media stuff. She's going to be helping out with that. So, and we're very excited. So you'll be hearing from Becca a lot more on the pod whenever she needs to vent about the Giants. She is always going to be on here.
See you week one.
So is this our free agent acquisition?
This is our free agent acquisition.
Yeah, there we go.
I think it's a solid one, guys.
Hey, it's more than the Cowboys did.
I mean, the compensation is.
She's right.
Mal, you have to marry Becca, right? That's the compensation.
Yes, correct.
Okay, well, I think everybody's okay with that. You both okay with that?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, cool, awesome.
Just gain some followers.
There we go. So, anyway, in all seriousness, though, So Mal, go ahead and get into our post free agent stuff.
Yeah, so let's do our post free agent team power rankings. So this is going to be where we think our team currently ranks in the NFL. So you could say whether it's in the NFC or in the entire NFL, but I would say keep it throughout the entire league. Just what you guys think your team is at after all your free agent pickups before the draft. So Earl, why don't you get us started with the Cowboys?
Free agency was non-existent. I really don't have much to say on it. Only thing I know, we signed a long snapper. We signed Chuma Dogo on the offensive line. And we just recently signed Royce Freeman, running back. And I think that was more of a camp signing. I really can't say. I really got to see this team during the preseason to see what they're capable of, especially in training camp. I would say that they're dead last when it comes to the ranking, especially with free agency, because they really don't do much in free agency. They're more of hush signings.
Yeah, but Earl, your team is not dead last in the league. Where do you think you end up in the league?
In the division.
Oh, in the division? Okay, in the division. Sorry.
I think we're probably somewhere in the middle of the pack. I think the Eagles right now are ahead, and it seems like the Eagles, Commanders, and Giants, they're stacking their squad. And I feel like Dallas is letting some of the pieces go from their squad where they're trying to go younger, more of red shirt players, just getting that chance, that opportunity to play. Where I think Dallas is somewhere in the middle within the division. If they surprise me, they surprise me. But from what I've seen on them being active, at least trying to get their team to be better, I really don't see it. But on paper, it's not looking good. Who knows? Something could magically happen during the season. But I can see them in the middle right now. In the NFL, I can see them at least around top 10 and mid 15 range right now.
All right, that's a fair assessment.
So in the division, were they first, second, third, fourth, Earl?
I can see them second.
Okay.
Lucas, what you got for us with the Commanders?
I mean, the Commanders made a lot of moves. Defensively, I feel pretty good. I wish that the edge, all the positions are now solid. I don't think there's, like safety, we could have improved possibly a little bit more because Jeremy Chin's injury history is a little iffy, but like what we did in corner, safety and corners are the areas of need. I think edge could be something, but it's not like we have a terrible rotation there. Look, linebacker definitely got upgraded. Offensively, you still have Terry, you still have Jahan. Now you have Zach Ertz as a veteran, 1 year veteran. You upgraded the center and a couple in a guard position, but you still need to get a left tackle. You still need to have a quarterback. With that being in mind, I hate to say this, but until the draft, I still think we're fourth, despite the upgrades.
That's fair.
Because
Fair.
I like quarterback wise, like Marcus Mariota is not gonna be winning you very many games in this division. It's just not gonna happen. So
Yeah.
until they can get a quarterback and a right left tackle, the team's not gonna get higher on this power ranking for me, and that's just me being brutally honest.
I think you
hold
guys
up,
should
hold
also get
up,
a center as well.
hold
We
up,
have a center. We just
hold
got
up,
yours. We'll go.
hold up,
What's up, Maurice?
Tyler
hold up,
Biggetish.
hold on.
Maurice
Time
has
out.
got to air some grievances.
Time out.
Okay,
For the last 5 episodes, you've been saying Adam Peters has been cooking.
he
Now
has.
you're gonna
Cooking.
get yourself.
Yeah, Chef
Now-
Peters.
He has. Our
Chef
team was
Peters.
that. Look. There's a reason why.
What did he
we got a second-
cook? What
Okay,
did he
Maurice,
cook?
just listen up. Just listen up. I'll explain myself. Yes, he has been cooking. Absolutely. However, the team was in such a sorry state when he got here. He's done a lot in free agency. Actually, some would argue, like you guys, that we've done too much in free agency.
I ain't
If
say
you
that.
look at the free agent moves with the roster that we have now, our team is still very much incomplete. It's a lot better. Our defense is a lot better, but we have unproven corners and injuries at safety. And then offensively, like Marcus Mariota doesn't do anything for me. Like once this team goes through the draft and gets what we need to get in the draft, then I'm gonna say that I'll probably push us up to either third or second. Probably third. Like I don't expect us to make a big turnaround where we compete for the top of the division this year. Let's be clear. We have a young team. We're building a young team right now, okay? Like we might not even get to 500 this year, but we're going to be better than we were last year. And I think more importantly is that we're building in the right direction. Like everything that's wrong with our team will not be fixed this year. But if we're going just purely on what the team has currently still, it's not enough. It's not enough to be outside be out of the bottom. Does that answer you? Does that give you clarity of where I'm coming from, Maurice?
It tells me where you're coming from, but you guys had like what $90 million in cap space.
We still have a
Ton of
lot
cap
more.
space.
We still have a lot more. We just didn't use it all because we don't need to use it all this year.
I would have.
also
Go
think
ahead,
the
man.
build is just in full force right now.
I was expecting like a bigger splash.
But that's the Dan Snyder way. We're not Dan Snyder. This is Josh Harris.
Mm.
And
Also,
Maurice,
Maurice,
you know Josh Harris. He's not always going to make the flashiest moves.
You got to remember too, they got to build the team to a winning culture so that free agents want to go to the Commanders.
Hey, that's another thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
So
fair enough.
like I said, I've loved the moves that they made. They've significantly gotten better, but compared to the rest of the division, we still aren't there yet. And I hate to say that because like in my head, I still have the Giants 3, but like here's the deal: the Giants defensively, they're set. Like we still have questions about our defense. They kind of don't, or if they do, they have the young players in place to fill in those gaps. Right? We don't. Offensively, their offensive line has gotten better. They're just missing a quarterback and a running back and a wide receiver. But like right quarterback in that situation, you can make the rest of it work. So anyway, that's just my thought there. But if I had to rank the whole entire division, I put Eagles 1, Cowboys 2, Giants 3, and Commanders 4. Now this could all change based off the draft. Like the Giants, they get a quarterback that like if they could get Drake, maybe they go to 2. Or if the Commanders, maybe they get to 3, depending on how their draft goes. Like, it just all depends on the draft. But right now, where the teams currently are, that's how I have it. But I say the gap between the Giants and the Cowboys are a lot thinner than what they used to be.
Yeah. All right. Well, Maurice, where do we got the Birds ranked?
Well, you guys already said it.
Number 1.
Number 1 in NFC East, and I actually think we're the number 1 team of free agency in the whole NFL.
Ooh, okay.
Nah, I really do. I mean, they signed who shall not be named, former Giant running back. They signed C.J. Garner-Johnson, Devin White, Bryce Huff, traded for Kenny Pickett as a backup, brought back
That Bryce
Avonte.
Huff signing was not talked about enough.
It really
Yeah,
wasn't.
that was a sleeper. That was under.
But you guys essentially did a trade for Bryce Huff and
Reddick.
Yeah,
Reddick.
got rid of an older rusher who's more expensive for Bryce Huff.
We got someone younger and on a cheaper deal.
Yeah.
Brought back Avonte Maddox and did all that while also extending young players like Landon Dickerson, Devontae Smith, we'll talk about shortly, and others. We lost a Hall of Fame center, but I think based off of my mock draft from last week, I think Howard's going to replace him with another guard. But all that said, and while also keeping a fairly good amount of cap space as well. So all that in all that to say, I think we had by far the best free agency period in the division, and I think in NFL as well. You guys agree?
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
At least definitely the best in the division.
Yeah. So we're reloading. We will see how we're going to see how this all comes together, especially with two new coordinators.
Yeah, well, we'll see. So where do you have the rest of the teams in the division, Maurice?
Well, I disagree. I don't have the Giants. It's not the Giants. I don't have the Cowboys number 2.
Okay,
I can't make the Cowboys number 2 just by not doing anything.
Okay. So who do you have number 2?
I have the Giants number 2.
Okay.
I think by far Burns was maybe the best singular signing of any player in the division.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think he makes an immediate impact on that team. I think it's a perfect fit. So I have the Giants number 2. I would have the Commanders number 3 simply because you threw a lot of money out there. So
this is based off of teams, like how good the team is now, correct?
Yeah, I mean you guys added talent. You did.
Okay.
You did.
Okay.
I mean, I just can't give.
So you have the Cowboys last, despite having Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, and.
Well, we're talking free agency. That's a question, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't make any moves in free agency, so I can't really. It's incomplete.
Okay, Earl, we didn't ask you this earlier. How do you have the division ranked?
In the free agency?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Dallas is last.
No, I mean like. So let me rephrase the question here. Based off of how the teams look now after free agency, how do you have the teams ranked?
Oh, that's a different question. Okay.
That's what I meant to ask earlier.
Okay, I got the Eagles 1, Giants 2, Commanders 3, Dallas 4.
So Dallas is the worst team in the division now. That is what you were saying.
No, that's not true. I don't think that's true.
I don't feel like that's true. But okay.
Yeah, I think Earl misheard.
I'm talking. Yeah, I did. I'm talking about like free agency wise.
No, like in terms of free agency moves, I agree with Maurice and you, Earl. But I'm talking about how good is the team now after free agency compared to the rest of the teams in the NFC East. Like, how do their moves affect where they are in terms of ranking them among teams in the division? Like, are the Eagles still the best team after free agency, or are they have they gotten worse? That's what I'm asking, not ranking how good their free agency moves were.
Yeah, I really don't know about with Dallas with them not doing anything, but I could definitely see the Eagles at 1, Giants at 2, Washington at 3, Dallas is at 4. I just can't see what Dallas is doing right now.
Do you think that Dallas is going to be less in the division this year?
I don't think that. I'm just saying from what I'm seeing right now, like on paper, it's not.
What do you think?
So you're saying Dallas's roster right now would make them, if nothing happened in the draft, like the draft never happened. You're saying
they
Dallas
laid an egg. Yep.
That nothing happened in the draft, Dallas would be the worst team in the division.
Yeah, especially with the departure of the guys during free agency.
Okay.
That's where
just-
I'm going at.
Okay.
for it.
Okay.
Earl doesn't see the vision.
No,
All
he
right.
doesn't division.
I'm pessimistic, sir.
Well, we're honest depending on what your standpoint is.
Yeah,
So, Maurice, now understanding the question a little bit better, would you like to rephrase your ranking there?
Oh, from a talent aspect, I still have the Eagles number one.
Yeah.
I have the Cowboys number two just from talent. Unlike
Yeah.
Earl, who is the Cowboys fan here, I think the Cowboys are still a good competitive football team. Now
Okay.
they have a whole like running back.
Against the division, but if outside of it, it's questions.
You guys have a hole at running back. You will address that in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's Jonathan Taylor or anybody else we talked about.
You'll address one or two offensive linemen too in the draft.
Yeah, you still got CD, you still got Micah, and apparently you still have Dak for at least 1 year. So you still have a lot of talent there. And based off the Giants and Commanders, yeah, you're number two.
Yeah, I'd say so. So who's 3 and 4, Maurice?
Giants three, Commanders 4.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I had it too.
Mhm.
Becca, do you want to chime in?
What? I don't
Do you-
know. So are you asking me who I think is
So after free agency, before the draft, where would you rank these teams in terms of where you think they would finish with the current roster that they have?
current roster they have? Unfortunately, I'd have to put the Eagles first. And then unfortunately, I'd have to put Dallas second because at least they have a quarterback that they are at least a little bit confident in. And then it would be the Giants and
They
then
doing
the
Dak
Commanders.
wrong.
What do you mean?
They should have
got
addressed his contract a while ago. Like just the dragging of the contracts whenever a player is about to get their contract, they do something with a smear campaign and things. Dak
Okay, so
Dak has done everything right in what the quarterback should do, but they're really not doing much to help him. Like they're not putting pieces around him. Then on top of that, he's still waiting on a contract deal where it possibly won't even happen. So
I don't know about Cowboys Twitter. But so is there as much discourse about the quarterback situation as the Giants though?
There's a pretty good amount, I would say. Like I'd say there's a good amount of Cowboys fans who are out on Dak, and then there's ones who like are really supportive of Dak.
Okay, so it's like ours kind of.
Yeah, but
Like,
we're
interesting.
really bad. I don't know if they're that bad, but I do see some of it.
like I support Dak Prescott, but I would not be surprised if he left because I would rather him be in a better situation than what he's in Dallas right now.
Yeah, you
Like
support Dak because he's your quarterback right now, and that's what
You
good
do.
fans are supposed to do. But
yeah, I mean I followed Dak all through his time in Mississippi State back in college and stuff, and I just had a feeling that he could definitely be that fit for Dallas. But at the same time, they really didn't put pieces around him to the point that could take him to where he needs to go, like next level. I just feel like he really hasn't been unleashed. And even though coming second in MVP votes this past season, I really didn't see the full best out of Dak Prescott. So I would just want him to go somewhere where he's appreciated and doesn't have to deal with all the animosity and things of that, the mixed emotions.
When the Jones family drafts Spencer Rattler, they're going to throw Dak to the curb.
Shoot, they gave away a fourth for Trey Lance. I'm
I don't
still
think
waiting
they
to see that
draft.
brother.
I don't think they're going to draft another guy. I think it would be very foolish of them to, because
Yeah, it'd be a waste of it.
because they've already used a pick on a guy, a young guy. So I don't know, but anyway, let's get to team news. And I think Earl. Nope. Yep, Earl, you're up first.
Cool. My team news, CeeDee Lamb, he hasn't attended voluntary OTAs. I mean, they're voluntary, but he's looking to get a new contract. Micah's not there. he's looking to get a new contract. He still has a 5th-year option that he's about to play on, but situation, he's hearing things, rumors of him wearing thin with the team, and he's like, cool, I can't wear thin on nobody if I'm not there. So more than likely we'll see them during training camp, probably not. I just know the contracts, the main 3 contracts that needs to be accomplished is getting Dak situated, which opens up for CeeDee Lamb as well as Micah, and then the list goes on from there. But I think Dallas is all in is them signing their own players. The only time is don't know when. Either one of the 3 could get signed, and then the next person, and then the next person. But overall, I was happy to see Dak Prescott at voluntary OTAs. It shows his leadership. But for me, I wouldn't mind seeing him not attend to at least prove a point to the Joneses. Because I feel like they're not treating their players right, where they're billionaires and players playing up to contracts of millions and they're lowballing them. And I think that's not fair to the player. And I think that's the reason why they're not having more guys like be interested in joining the Cowboys. So, yeah.
But Earl, Derrick Henry was interested. They just never called him.
And that's what I mean by that. Stephen Jones does not like free agents that he doesn't like outsiders. And even bringing in outsiders, they're either years ran up, older, and so on to add to the team. But if you're looking to get somebody who could be a dynamic player in free agency, you won't even make the call. When I hear him say, have them call me, I know that they're not going to sign anybody in free agency because nobody's going to take them seriously. And Jerry Jones pretty much handed the keys over to Stephen Jones, where I believe he gave the keys to the wrong child. Should have gave it to Charlotte Jones' daughter. But yeah, it's pretty much the all-in situation is getting Dak, CD, and Micah contracts signed and confirmed. But at the same time, there's hardly any movements through free agency to make the team better. So I'm looking forward to the draft because I got to see where they go. But whoever they draft, they're going to be playing this upcoming season because I heard them say, we pick them, we play them.
Fair enough. And I think, Mal, you are up next.
Yeah, so not much going on in Giants world. A lot of he said, she said, hearsay going on that the Giants might trade up to number 4 to get one of the quarterbacks, whether that be Drake May if he falls or JJ McCarthy. And listen, we're not going to get any answers until next week. No one knows what Joe Shane is truly going to do. It would be dumb of him to really give up any of those types of things that he kind of is thinking about because, you know, as we were just talking about before, look what the Eagles did to us with Devonta Smith because our old GM just didn't know how to be quiet. So not really much news, just speculation. So what do you got for the Commanders, Lucas?
Look, it was really kind of a quiet week. We know that the, top QBs came in. I believe they came in all at once. That's an interesting way to do it. But the main thing that really caught me, because they're not going to tell us anything from the results of that, but what really did catch my attention is that news came out today that, minority owner Magic Johnson, we all know who's a famous basketball player, also partial owner of the Dodgers, he wanted the Commanders to hire Bill Belichick. And we also, I don't know if you guys saw today, but Bill Belichick was never in the running for any real jobs for Atlanta either. He didn't even make any of the top execs' top 3 lists of final candidates. So I'm actually kind of curious, before I say my piece, what are your guys' reaction to the news hearing that?
That was weird because the way it was reported made it seem like Robert Kraft was intentionally telling
Blacklisting him.
basically that, yeah, which is really weird because the guy gave him seven championships, 6 championships. So why would he go out of his way to basically, talk down to him to other owners.
I mean, look, when a breakup happens, it can get pretty ugly. That's the way I see it, and that was definitely a breakup.
Yeah, but I still think that's a little messed up. But yeah, you're right.
Breakups are messed up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Anybody else want to chime in on that? Well, how could you guys? Would you guys think the Commanders would have had a better offseason if they had hired Bill Belichick or not?
Yeah, I do.
You think so?
I do.
I look.
I do.
It would be up in the air because depending on how active he is during free agency, I think it probably would, but highly unlikely, especially with the control that Bill Belichick wants. I'm not sure if they would have fully gave that to him, especially with the process that they're trying to go through now with Dan Quinn and just the moves that are happening. So I think if he was there, you guys, Lucas, probably wouldn't have got some of the moves that y'all did during free agency.
You see, that's fair. And here's my thing about it. Yes, Bill Belichick, you could argue, is the greatest coach of all time. But outside of having Tom Brady, what much has he done? Especially lately, he was a terrible GM for the Patriots for arguably the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
He alienated, his owner and his franchise QB. Destroyed the development of Mac Jones, who I think we can agree could have been decent if he wasn't given an offensive coordinator who never was an offensive coordinator before, or an offensive coach, period. And I don't know. It's just there. I don't know. He's also 70. What is he? 74, 72? Like that. You can't build something long term with somebody that age. It's just not going to happen. So, look, I'm glad that it didn't happen. Was Dan Quinn my first choice? I think we all know that that's not the case. But has it grown on me? Sure. That's the way I see it. But anyway, moving forward, let's get to Maurice and the Eagles now because you guys made an interesting move.
Yeah, we did, and I mentioned it earlier. The Eagles went on another spree of re-signings or contract extensions. They extended Devontae Smith contract for 3 more years for $75 million with a $51 million guarantee. So at 25 years old, Devontae Smith is going to be here until he's 29. I think this is good value, specifically because a lot of the other receivers, the better receivers, like CD, like Jefferson, are going to get big money. So how have we got this in before now? And Chase Young and Chase
Young is not
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase. One of them chases. Yeah, they're all the receivers, all the big time receivers are going to get paid. So how we got this in on time, and this is a great move.
Look, I think that's fair. I look. The way I see it is this is how a franchise is supposed to do an extension, not make a big deal, just make the announcement when it's done. I'm not calling out another team in the division, but if you guys could have done this like this, Earl, then the CD thing wouldn't be a big deal.
Shoot, any of the signings wouldn't have been a big deal if you just handled it and took care of it. It's just Stephen Jones right now being a cheapskate. He's worse than Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, look, it's not. Yeah, it's a tough life, man. Look, it's tough to be a Cowboys fan right now. But
I've been a Cowboys fan since I could form words in my mouth. So
yep,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. But Maurice, you're up next.
Well, this is the part of the episode where we talk Commanders mailbag, but we do not have a reply from Commanders
fans. Where you at, Commanders fans?
Yeah, where y'all at? Y'all got all my Eagles fans. What about them?
we getting on. Well, okay. Well, how about this? I'll leave you guys a mailbag. Do you guys have any Commanders questions for me?
I do.
I bet you do. Go ahead.
Question. Do you guys still think y'all gonna keep Major Tutty for years to come?
Oh my gosh. I really hope not. It doesn't sound
Uh,
like they're going to be doing the rebranding this year. We have, 2 more years to do it afterwards. So I'm hoping within the next 2 years after this offseason we get it done. But who knows? I'm really hoping not.
Has there been any news on the new stadium?
I know that we're getting close to an RFK remodel, and I think my understanding is that they're gonna make they're gonna have a small parking area, but the most of the area surrounding the new stadium, if it does happen in DC, would be like a little park area, which I think would be really cool.
I think also you guys need to change your turf, change your field.
I mean, we're not the only ones in this division that needs to change our turf.
Listen, we know.
As long as you know.
It's got to be changed because we're having the World Cup final there, so.
Yeah, definitely. Well, anyway.
I do have one more question.
Okay.
With the number 2 pick, do you feel like the Commanders are going to draft their guy?
I hope they do. I hope they do. Look, Adam Peters has not given me a reason to doubt him yet. I'm hoping that we get the right guy. I think all the momentum is going Jaden Daniels' way, and I don't see just the way I see it is Drake May is a project. We don't have a good enough bridge quarter. Like if we would have kept Jacoby Brissett, then yeah, drafting Drake May would have made a lot more sense in my head. But we don't have Jacoby Brissett anymore. We have Marcus Mariota, who last time we saw him being a starter, he literally gave up on a team halfway through the season. So I think that it's better if we go with somebody a little bit more NFL ready, and Daniels definitely fits that mold.
I agree with that. I would just need to see him do a little more throws down the middle of the field.
And hopefully he can develop that over time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Is that my only Commander's questions from you guys? Any other questions?
Oh, I have one more.
Oh gosh. Okay.
If you get a chance to go to a Commanders game, are you gonna get an autograph from Major Tutty?
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. I will do you one better. Earl, if you come with me to a Commanders game, I will take a picture with Major Tutty and make it my Twitter profile.
You gotta go.
I will see what I can do.
But you have to be there with me.
I'm gonna be most hated there, but I don't care.
Well, it's just we've talked about in the past about going when the Cowboys play the Commanders, so we'll figure that out.
Don't wear no Cowboys gear. That's all.
No, I have to. It's a must. I'm gonna come there really prepared. Promise you. If anybody come near me, I'm gonna have holy water ready for them.
Holy water.
Holy water doesn't work on us. That's Saints fans. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to.
I can't.
Anyway, it's time for
Who's that football player?
So I'm not gonna lie. When Earl sent me this one, guys, I didn't think anybody was going to get it. But 2 people on social media, one on Twitter, one on Facebook, did. Earl, read off the stats. See if these guys can get it.
Alrighty. This football player back in 1996 during the season had 16 starts. He had 2 holding penalties, 7 false starts. He pretty much had 16 total penalties. His career awards, he is 2-time All-Pro first team, 4-time Pro Bowler, as well as winning the championship with the Cowboys. Do you guys know who this football player is?
What year was it again?
1996.
Stefnowski?
Born. I wasn't even born yet.
Maurice?
Stefnowski?
Stepnoski? Nope.
Stefnowski, yeah.
Becca, do you want to take a shot at this?
No, because the only Cowboy I can think of right now is Tony Romo.
Holding penalties on Tony Romo.
Oh, no.
Listen, I don't know Cowboys, okay? And I thought of Tony Romo, so there you go.
Okay. Oh, I
Um,
know the answer. Earl, tell the people who it is.
the football player with the Dallas Cowboys, he was a left tackle offense, Eric Williams. Eric Williams had a large frame at being a tackle. He was very aggressive. That's where the penalties came into play. But with his aggressiveness, he had a mean attitude towards the defenders. Like he was just aggressive. And I think with Dallas this time around, especially with Tyron Smith with the Jets, I think Dallas needs to get back to getting that aggressor at the left tackle spot and reassuring the dominance of the offensive line with the Cowboys. And Eric Williams was one that was solid and a really strong guy that was one of the walls during the offensive that the Cowboys had back then, like during that Super Bowl run. And he had a decent career. The only downside is some of the injuries, and when he got in that car accident, it really hindered him moving forward within his career. But Eric Williams was a solid player for me, and I'm glad I got a chance to do this for the Who's That Football Player.
All right, and now Mal's going to talk poll questions, right, Mal?
Yeah, let's talk poll questions. So it was Giants poll this week, and this one got a lot of interaction, but the Twitter and Facebook poll both had the same majority answer. So the question was, when will the Giants move on from Daniel Jones? And most people said next year.
I can see that.
I could see too. I think we see how he is this year after he comes back from the injury, depending on how the draft goes, if we have anybody lined up. His contract is more suitable to get out of next year, but I think for sure this year he plays. So I agree with everyone. You guys say the same?
Yeah, I would say the same. Yeah, I think next year's most likely.
If Daniel Jones had less money on his contract, he will be gone by now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to say the same.
I think at that point, I think if anything, Saquon should have got that money, and I would have had Daniel Jones walk. But that's just me.
To be quite honest, I think if times were different and we did give Saquon that money and Daniel Jones did test free agency, I think he would have took a lesser deal.
Yeah,
he probably would have.
It would have worked out for you guys. Like
Yeah,
for real.
Joe Shane learned and he panicked a little bit there, which like I got why he did what he did because in the moment we needed to lock up our quarterback, especially after going to the playoffs that year. But I think if we could go back, that would probably be how that went down.
So let me ask you, Mal and Becca, this. Do you guys want Daniel Jones to start week 1? Or do you want either draft or another option?
So if he's healthy and good to go, yeah. I think we got to see how his vibe and like how things are going to go. I also don't think Drew Lock starting. I don't think Drew Lock's better than Daniel Jones. I'm going to be totally honest with you. So,
Agreed.
giving us our best chance to win is putting Daniel Jones out there week 1 if he's healthy. Because even if we get a quarterback, listen, it's not going to be Jaden Daniels. It's not going to be Caleb Williams. It's most likely going to be either Drake May or it's going to be JJ McCarthy. And both I don't think are going to be NFL ready to start week 1.
I would look at Michael Penix.
That's a different thing. If we're able to land Penix, I would like to see the battle in camp and go from there. But that's an after draft conversation. But as things are right now, yeah, if he's ready to go, Daniel Jones has got to start week 1.
Becca, what do you think?
Honestly, I think I agree with Mal. If he's healthy, he's the best option. But I can also see them rushing him back like they did during, what was it, the Raiders game where he got the big injury. Rushing him back. If they rush him back, then they're just doing this all over again to him, hurting him again. If he's not ready, then you let Drew Lock start unless we we have to. We got nobody else unless we want to do another Tommy DeVito insanity run.
Tommy Cutlets.
Tommy Cutlets.
But yeah, Daniel Jones is the best option if he's healthy. But if he's not healthy, don't rush him back out there. That's the dumbest thing they did.
They gotta be.
Yeah, I
sure.
agree with that. They got to make sure he's like fully ready. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
advised to run him out there when he's not ready.
Yeah.
Because with the Raiders game, he wasn't cleared, but then magically he was cleared so they could play him. So I could see them rushing him back and him getting hurt and again, or he's healthy and he plays. And if he's not healthy, then you play Tommy DeVito, Drew Lock, or if we draft somebody, but I wouldn't play the guy we draft. And I'm the biggest
Yeah.
Daniel Jones fan left. And
Mm.
it hurts me to say that.
Well, Becca, let me ask you this. Is there a quarterback in this draft that you do like
I like Drake May.
outside of Drake May?
Hmm.
Anybody in like the second or third round that you would be interested in?
No.
Sam Hartman. I'm kidding. I'm totally
I mean,
kidding.
I love Sam Hartman. I'm not gonna lie. Notre Dame, he's got pretty hair.
Yep, I was about to say that.
It's always about the
I like
hair.
a guy with long
Mhm.
hair. Leave me alone.
No judgment.
Hey, no judgment.
But no, I don't think anybody but the top four are really worth it because people hate Daniel Jones because he's injury prone. But then they're like, let's get an injury prone guy
That's fair.
that's left handed when we have Evan Neal blocking his blind side.
Well, actually, that guy that you signed in free agency, the one that you can't remember his name, he's
Jermaine
he's
Illuminor. I remember.
yes, he is a very good right tackle apparently. So if he's left-handed, the right tackle is more important.
Well, yeah, but people are saying that they think they'll give Evan Neal the start there and Jermaine will be put as a guard. And I'm like, can we just send Evan Neal to Burger King or something? Like,
How
To
do we just
Burger King?
guard?
So he can have it his way.
did you not hear? Did you not hear what happened with him? He said that he was talking bad about fans about them flipping burgers.
Oh
or
yeah, I
something.
remember. I
Like, you can go
remember.
flip
I
burgers.
remember that.
I'll block better than he does.
I probably could block
Daniel
better
Jones
than
will be
him.
safe.
Yeah.
Lucas could too.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe, yeah. Anyway, so last but not least, moving on now is trivia, and our team was the Eagles. Now, Maurice, I'm really interested to see if you can get this. Who are the three players in Eagles franchise history that are tied for the most interceptions?
Well, I know two. I don't know
Okay.
three.
I know three.
Tell me the two.
It's Brian Dawkins, Eagles great,
Yep.
and Eric Allen.
Yep. That's two. Can you
I
get
don't
the
know the
third
third.
one?
I know the third.
Let me ask you this, Lucas. I ask you this every week. Is it pre-Super Bowl era?
No, it is at the beginning of the Super Bowl era, so
Oh,
you have
come
no
on.
excuse.
So you're talking like 60s, 70s.
69 was his first season.
Yep.
Oh.
Earl,
God,
who
that's
is it?
still so long ago, though.
I can't help the stats. The stats show me things.
It's for the stat nerds, Mal. It's for the stat nerds.
Okay,
Exa-
okay.
So
All right. It's Bill Brandley.
it is Bill Bradley. That is absolutely correct. Free safety.
Girl, did
Yep.
you Google that?
No, actually, I didn't. I kind of know most of y'all history because I got to do the Who's That Football Player.
Didn't I?
Oh.
Yeah.
My knowledge, I know a lot about y'all teams. It's just which player will
Evidently
show up.
so. The Cowboys fan know more about the Eagles. Okay.
Now, Maurice, I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself. Okay, I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself. One of the players that Earl did as Who's That Player was Sheldon Brown. Remember that?
Yeah.
Where does Sheldon Brown? How many career interceptions does Sheldon Brown have?
High 20s.
He has 19. He is tied for 16th on the Eagles franchise all-time record list.
Wow, that's actually pretty low.
Well, how many? He really didn't play that many years with the Eagles. I want to say like 8 years.
He played about 7.
7. Okay, I almost went off.
Asante Samuel.
16. We said 19.
He had 19. Yeah.
And 7 seasons is not bad.
He's tied
Sheldon
for
Brown
Russ
played
Kraft,
11
Bobby
seasons.
Taylor.
He played 11 seasons.
Oh wait, that might have been all together. Sorry, I was googling it.
And Asante Samuel is 11th all time with 23. Troy Vincent, 28.
Yeah, he was
Herm
good.
Edwards is fourth with 33.
Giants fans know Herm Edwards.
Yep. I was half tempted to make that one the one there. So anyway, I thought that was a good poll. That was a good trivia question. Yeah. So anyway, that's it. Mal, I think Mal, you're the one wrapping up today, or is it Maurice?
Maurice has got us tonight.
Okay, Maurice, go ahead and play that song for us.
I want to mention before we get out of here tonight, I would like to invite everyone in the 13 Rings family to our day one draft night group chat. We will host it on Twitter Spaces, and we would like to invite anyone listening to join us and talk football on draft night. So, with that said, we truly thank you all for listening to our podcast this week. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. And we're now on YouTube. Check us out there and subscribe. Also, make sure to follow us on Twitter or X, Instagram, and Facebook at 13_rings podcast. Until next time, have a good night.
See ya.
Bye, y'all.
Blessings.